Welcome to American Dreams. My guest today is Brad Connors. Brad, welcome to today's show.
Thank you. It's really good to be here, Alan. I appreciate it.
Brad, can you share a little about your background, what inspired you to launch iWealth?
Yeah, it's a story that starts when I'm 2 years old, Alan. At the age of 2, I was in a severe car accident, had a collapsed lung, and lost my father as a result of that. And at the age of 5, I was adopted by my dad, who just had his birthday yesterday, and he's an awesome dad. But as a result of that car accident, there was an insurance settlement that was paid out, and that insurance settlement went into a bank. This is like 70s and 80s, pretty good interest rates, as you recall, back in those days. So it was locked up until I was 18 years old. And that money went on interest at that bank, and then, was raised by a beautiful, loving family with one brother. But my entrepreneurial started when I was 14 years old. I had an uncle of mine that in a small town in Waterville, Minnesota, with 1,700 people, owned a fish market. And he just had bought it, needed someone to run it. Summer was here, so he hired me for $500 a month to work 6 days a week, from 9 to 6, and Walt and Earl would skin bullheads that the Iowegians would bring in, 200 to 300 at a crack, and I would clean those, freeze them, sell bait, do that kind of thing. And I really think that my entrepreneurial spirit was born when I was working at that fish market for that summer. But fast forward, that CD matured when I was 18. At the age of 17, I learned what it was like to borrow against that money in the bank. And I went to a little bank and I borrowed, and I went and bought a 1989 Beretta GT, and I had the nicest car in the parking lot. Fast forward again, my high school sweetheart, which we're now married almost 29 years in a couple of weeks, I sat down on my 21st birthday and proposed to her. A few months later, sitting around wondering how we were going to make it, because all that money was gone. I remember driving over on my 18th birthday and picking up that check out of that large bank and bringing it to the small bank, paying off my car. I remember buying CDs and clothes and all that crap that we don't need, depreciating assets. And as I was sitting there at 21 years old and the money was gone, saying, what did I do? My mom and dad had asked me if I wanted to meet with an insurance agent, with somebody from IDS back in the day. And of course, I was smarter than that and didn't need it. And so the reason I started iWealth and do what I do today is I just want to help people make smart decisions with their money, not the decisions I made, Alan, back in the day. And I'm happy to report that things have gone well. I'm married today to my high school sweetheart, 2 beautiful children, 20 and 24, and run a thriving, growing practice. I'm not a Wall Street stock jockey by any means, but have a beautiful practice and a beautiful family, and was able to live through those things that helped me get to where I was at today. So hopefully that gives you some background of where I came from.
So how has your mission evolved from simply managing money now to helping families live purposefully?
Yeah. You've been in this business for a long time too. I wrote a book 10 years ago. We just put it back out again, an expanded edition. The book's called Fish Don't Clap. And I really struggled whether I should write it or not, Alan. And the reason being is that, as you know, it's not cheap to publish books and to get things on the street. I'm Christian. My wife is Christian. Could we spend that money elsewhere? And then I sat down. My coach at Strategic Coach said, ask yourself why 5 times. Why do you want to publish this book? And then what's important about that? And just work through it. And I really just wanted to give back. And so we wrote the book because I helped too many people retire and they shouldn't have. They were absolutely miserable after they retired because they lacked purpose. They were so entrenched with retiring from that job, from that career, instead of to that next lifestyle. And so when you ask me about what's changed or what's happened with purpose, my whole mind shift has been helping clients, helping people I come across really think about their life in different phases instead of just retirement. Like, what's that next phase of life look like? What do you want to retire to? And so, yeah, you go back 31 years ago and, selling mutual funds and some life insurance and things like that. Like, it's evolved a lot more purposeful today, but just from my experiences that I've had. And I'm sure yours has changed too, Alan, over that time period that you've been helping people as well.
Okay, I'm curious. Fish don't clap. What does that mean?
Well, I didn't want to write a book that was an I Love Brad story. There's too many financial books out there where people try to tell you they're smarter than everybody else and you should go do business with them. I wanted to give away the information that I knew, and I wanted to do it in a parable format. The parable of talents in the Bible is my favorite parable. I wanted to have a parable that people could relate to. And so in the first chapter, it's a public speaker that's retires. He hits his number, he hits his age, and he's like, I'm going to retire. And he loves the fish. And he's in a boat fishing, and he's catching fish, but he's not feeling fulfilled. And the reason he's not is because fish don't clap. He wishes he had been on stage and still doing public speaking. And then he meets a mentor, and they kind of walk through this financial planning journey. So that's where Fish Don't Clap comes from.
Now, you developed something called the Plan on Purpose Office. What exactly is that? And how does it help families and business owners gain clarity about their future?
It's interesting. I know you're deeply involved in family office. So many advisors like to say that they have a family office, and it's not. I mean, in the true sense, it's not. So this Plan on Purpose office, think of someone that has, a net worth of 10 million or $50 million. Like they can't, they're not going to go out and financially hire their own CPA just for them and their own attorney just for them. So what we did is we've curated what we call the 4 Days Coming Network. So we've gotten, if they need private medical or they need to fly a jet, if they need to lease a jet to get home because COVID hits or something, we have this Who network. And so our clients that are in the Plan on Purpose office can tap into that Who network. Certainly we work with those professionals, but we don't retain them. We don't pay bills for clients. And so I really wanted to get away from the name family office because I think it's overused. And it's a catchy buzzword, I guess. And I really wanted to be purposeful with our clients. And so we're really clear on what we provide, but it's really the curated network that we've built over years that our clients can tap into when they have an issue and want to get something taken care of. Does that make sense?
It does. So the For Days Coming network, is that also playing into the Plan on Purpose office?
It does. It's really that network that we curated. So we manage assets, we review taxes, we review, wills and trusts and things like that. That's part of that Plan on Purpose office. But the network, the 4 Days Coming network, is the network of people that can help them get stuff done. Yeah.
You work closely with successful business owners. What's the biggest mistake you see when they start thinking about selling or transitioning their business, and how can they prepare better?
Yeah, it's and you see this, Alan, too. I'm talking to the teacher. They just don't prepare. Last night I had a meeting with a client. Dad just died at 91. They own a small business, $25 million in revenue. 2 brothers and sister own it. All the key people are ready to retire, including them. And he said to me last night, he said, shame on us for not having that next generation people that are there. And so I think the biggest sin I see from business owners is not preparing soon enough, not thinking about the exit. Like, we're all going to exit our business. We're either going to die with it or we're going to sell it internally or externally. I think that, I have a plan to sell my business. Even though I never plan on selling it, I have to look at it once a year with my business partner just to say, what's the valuation and what would we do if we died and those type of things. So I think it's just not having a plan, and they're just so busy working in the business that they need to consult with somebody outside the business to help get their plan and head straight around it. That's the biggest thing I see.
So, when you look at purpose versus performance, how does that change the conversation you're having with clients and advisors today?
Yeah, I think the advisors in the future, I mean, AI is here to stay. AI is a great tool for a lot of advisors, a lot of center of influences. So CPAs, attorneys, like AI is going to help a lot. I think the advisor, the trusted advisor in the future, is the advisor that's going to sit down with that business owner and be able to have empathy, to be able to have some experience, to ask some questions they don't even know to put into Chat GPT or AI. And it really takes the conversation away from performance. Performance is important. Managing money is important. We all want our assets to grow. Think you got to monitor that over time, obviously. But I really think if your value proposition as an advisor is performance, you're going to get lost. And I think if you're the low cost provider, you're going to get lost. I think you need to provide value to your clients by either having a network of who's for them to get into, by keeping score of all the planning topics like long-term care, family meetings, social security planning, like insurance planning. Those things are all so important, and that all puts it back on the purpose side of things to make sure that you're taking care of the client correctly. So that's where I see kind of the puck going, to use a Wayne Gretzky term, in the future. It's those advisors that's going to roll up their sleeves, have the right conversations, and then solve problems for their clients.
Now, you talk about faith, family, freedom as guiding principles, and how do those values influence the way that you live, lead, and advise at iWealth?
It's interesting, Alan. Years ago, they said never talk politics or your religion with clients, right? And I think that's changed a little bit. I don't lead with it. I don't have a problem working with the other side of the aisle. I don't preach politics, but I'm conservative, and I think people know that. But I also don't hold it against somebody if they're not conservative. So it's, are they level-headed? Can we talk? And then on the religious side, the number one thing for me is the truth. And you know, John 8:32, the truth will set you free. Like, if somebody doesn't trust me, it really hurts. It really hurts. But on the flip side, if I don't trust somebody, it's just really hard to get across that. And so with my team, with our core values, humble, hardworking, client-centered, trustworthy, servant's heart, like those are our core values. Like, I've talked to my team all the time, like our clients should have those core values too. It just seems to be a better marriage that way to take care of them. So what used to be don't talk politics and don't talk religion, I think it's okay to be a Christian. I think it's okay that your clients know that truth is your bond. And if not, there's more people for them to go see, I guess.
In a world of constant change with AI, technology, and market volatility, what does the American dream look like today, and how can families still make it real for themselves?
Yeah, that's such a huge question and a hard one. And so much can be wound up in it, but I'll give you an example. So my wife and I just built our first home and hopefully our last home. Okay. And it's a beautiful home. It's on a lake in southern Minnesota. And the reason we built it is so that our kids and hopefully our grandkids someday want to spend time there. And I tell Trudy all the time, like, it's just sticks. It's a beautiful home, but it's just sticks. It's the memories and the experience we make in that home. And so when I think about the American dream and I think about planning for business owners and clients, I really think it's about how can we help them have the experiences that they want to have. If it's travel, if it's the cabin, if it's the ranch, you know, what are those things that make them happy? And then trying to build a plan around that happiness. And it's not stuff anymore. It used to feel that way. It used to be all about stuff. Money definitely can help with some happiness. It can help to take away some pain. But can you use it for the right purpose? And it could be purposes of giving it away. We'd set up a lot of family foundations. We have one ourselves. Like, what do you want that money to do? But I think that purpose question is so important. And that gets back into the American dream. It's just not he who dies with the most toys wins. My wife told me this. She listened to podcasts recently, and the minister on there talked about, I've never seen a U-Haul follow a hearse to the funeral. And it's true, right? I don't care what's in that U-Haul. I don't need it following my hearse someday.
That's a good analogy. Brad, for people that want to reach out to you at iWealth, how would they find you?
Yeah, they can just go to iWealthForMe.com and they can take a look at it. They can just Google Brad Connors or, put in search iWealth and they're going to be able to find us. We have 3 locations in Minnesota. We're licensed in about 26 different states. And they can check that out. Then they can also go to fishdon'tclap.com and they can check out the book that we have that we just released, an expanded edition. The one thing that I wanted to do, Alan, is I wanted to add my take on if a reader reads it in Utah and wants to put it in practice, it's probably not with us, but how would they take that information? Where would they go find that advisor that would do that type of work? And so we added a chapter at the end, just kind of putting it all together. But so fishdon'tclap.com, iWealthForMe.com is where they'd be able to find it.
Well, Brad, it's certainly been a pleasure having you here on today's show.
All right. Thank you so much, Alan. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
You bet.